how equity is defined, because you could define it a lot of different ways, but how does this bill define equity, and how does it specifically address trying to bridge that equity gap?
Yeah, no, it's a great question and a very controversial topic. I will say that I think the definition of equity in the sponsor's mind and in our mind was that every kid, regardless of zip code, should have access to an outstanding public education. You shouldn't be, just by nature of being in a certain school district with certain demographics and a certain funding situation, be put at a disadvantage over students in a different school district. And our old school finance formula didn't do that well. We had something in it called a cost of living adjustment that dwarfed the adjustment we made for students in poverty and the unique educational needs they have, 3 to 1. Essentially what that did is it took very limited state education dollars and concentrated them in our most affluent communities, our communities which often don't have the sorts of demographics that make for a difficult educational experience for many students. They also didn't have the difficulties that a lot of districts do that are in that position, attracting and retaining effective educators. We sent all of this cost of living money to districts that don't have a problem getting the best teachers and keeping them. We changed that by making landmark investments in our students in poverty that would need the most individualized instruction to succeed, and by recognizing that while in 1994, 5% of our students across the state were English language learners, 12% are right now. And we needed to make a serious investment in them to make sure that they could read and write and do math and science and all those things that are dependent on English literacy on par with their peers. And so we made some structural changes to the formula that did that. The other thing we did is we have a very messed up constitutional structure in the state that, due to Tabor and Gallagher, has made it such that some of the poorest parts of our state are taxing themselves in terms of property at the highest rates allowable by law. And some of our most affluent areas are paying the lowest tax rates on property. Now, nothing in this initiative increases property taxes, but what it aims to do is make it such that those areas that are taxing themselves very much in terms of property receive more state aid than they might otherwise. They shouldn't be penalized with less state aid because they're taxing themselves locally through property taxes much more. And that's another key sort of equity piece that we look to address in the bill. There are others. I'd say those are the two biggest ones.
Great. Thanks. Thanks very much.